Happy Tuesday, everybody. In case you don't know me, my name is Eric. I've been trading prop firms for 3 years now, and this is the recap of me trading my straight to funded 50K Lightning accounts with Tradeify. And got some pretty big news here. I actually went ahead and purchased 4 more Tradeify straight to funded Lightning accounts. I was trading one. I was able to get to one payout. It was my first time trading Tradeify, and I was able to lock in a payout right away of $2,000, $1,800 after their 90-10 split. So anyways, had a very rough week last week and went into this week with a fresh mind and everything. Yesterday did not take a trade because we were very, very choppy in a range there. Today we stayed in that range here as well. Unfortunately, as you can see here, I actually got trapped at the top here when we broke the previous day highs. And unfortunately it dumped down and stopped me out. I still only tried to take one trade a day, but as you can see, there was another setup towards the downside there that worked very well. I didn't even see the trade. I just got back to the desk and everything after taking that first trade this morning. So anyways, a big news. I went ahead and purchased 4 more Tradeify straight to funded Lightning accounts. And the reason why I did this is first of all, they had a big sale because it's their anniversary. So the accounts are usually $509, but I was able to get them for $250. The way I look at it, I made $1,800 off of my first account, which also only cost me $250 because they had a special off one account at that time. So essentially, I'm still $500 in profit at the end of the day, even after purchasing these accounts. And I basically want to start a new series where I am going to shoot for a $10,000 payout. It's basically the $10,000 payout series. So I'm gonna be trading micros and I'm gonna be trading very small, right? I'm not gonna be trading a mini or anything like that. I'm really gonna be taking my time and do a slow grind on this. So I imagine it will take me about 2 to 3 months of strict discipline and sticking to the plan. And so maybe in October, we can take a $10,000 payout. These Tradeify accounts cost me $250 a pop, about $1,000. It's very important that you're actually keeping track of your income and expenses with these prop firms. So I think this would be a convenient time for me to go ahead and show you my free prop firm income and expense tracker that I offered down below in the description. It's a free download. I just ask that you like and subscribe. It's pretty detailed, but let me go ahead and enter in my expenses so you can see exactly what this looks like. All right, so let's get into the income and expense tracker here. We got the start sheet. I'm not gonna go over it too much because I have a video linked below as well that shows you exactly how to use it. But here you enter in your prop firms and your expenses as well as your monthly goals. And then we're gonna go down here to the income tracker where you can track your actual payouts, your income overview, which shows my total payouts of the year, $7,524. And then we want the expense here, the expense tracker. So I'm gonna enter in my charges from yesterday with Tradeify, which was 8/18/2025. And then that was with Tradeify. You get the nice drop down menu right there, and it was a PA, and it was $250 was the cost there. Not sure why the formatting is like that, but do that. Okay, so $250 there is the total cost, and then we're just gonna drag this down because we did this 4 times yesterday, right? With 4 more accounts, and then just drag this down here as well. And drag this down here as well. And I'm just gonna move that there. So there we go. We got the total cost that I paid yesterday in terms of my expenses with Tradeify purchasing those 4 new accounts. Now we have our expense overview. This automatically updates after you enter that in. You don't have to do anything. And as you can see in August here, I just added some expenses. And the total for August here is $1,000 with Tradeify, and you can see it in the graphs there as well. And so my profit now is only going to be $2,700. So we are still in the green. That's why it is very important that I take my time with these accounts and take it very slow and really aim for that $10,000 payout. So that way we can really up my profits for the year. That is the overall plan. So there you go. There's the income and expense tracker that you can again download for completely free down below. I just ask that you please like and subscribe. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the recap so you can see exactly how I took my loss today on all 5 of my accounts. Unfortunately, not the way I wanted to start off, but it is what it is. We're staying disciplined and we will come back from this, I promise. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, August the 19th. We are about 5 minutes into market open here, and I started drawing out my opening range here, the first 15 minutes. And I just want to kind of go over yesterday. I did not take a trade yesterday. It was super chop, as you probably know if you were on the charts yesterday. So I didn't even put up a video or anything, even though I recorded myself. It was just straight chop. As you can see, this is yesterday. So we just stayed in this range. So what I'm really looking for today is to try to get out of this range. As you can see, I have a few more levels marked out here where I mark basically the pre-market lows, which are like the London lows, as well as the pre-market highs up here. And then we have the previous day close and then the previous day high and our previous day low. I don't want to really take a trade unless we break out from the previous day low or the previous day high. And as you can see with the first 5 minute candle, this is the 5 minute chart, 15 minute chart over here. With the first 5 minute candle forming the 15 minute range here, we did break below this previous day low. So I am really liking that to possibly look for shorts today. What I would want to see is us hold obviously below this, wait for the 15 minute range to form. We'll wait for a break and a close outside of the range on the 5 minute chart. And then we will switch down to the 2 minute chart, look for some type of pullback and then an entry to go short. For longs, I would have to see us pump all the way back up and get above this previous day high and hold above that to go long. As you know from my intro, pretty exciting news here that I went ahead and purchased 4 more accounts. So now we are loaded up here with 5 Tradeify straight to funded Lightning accounts. Now my plan with these is to trade micros. I'm not going to trade a mini. I'm going to trade micros. I'm going to copy trade as well with the trade copier that you can see here that I actually purchased from Apex Trader Funding a long time ago. It was actually like they have like another company that sells like little tools and products, and I bought a copier from them a long ass time ago. I believe it was like $150 or something like that. So I'm using that trade copier, and I will be trade copying all these accounts as one, and essentially just trading very slow, very small with micros, you know, using my same strategy. We are widening that stop a little bit, making it a little bit more dynamic. And we're going to do basically a 10-point stop max, but then we will kind of move that stop down based on the swing highs and the swing lows. And then of course, we'll still be going for that 10 points or so. Unless we have, you know, a lot of room to a downside or to an upside to a level to where I believe I can take more and kind of trail and, you know, try to get more that way. So we're going to be a little bit more dynamic in my strategy than just the fixed risk reward. And then of course we are going to scale down, especially now that I am trading and will be copy trading 5 accounts. As you know, with my original account that I took the payout with, we only have about $700 left in drawdown with that. Hopefully we can get that one out of drawdown and you know, get these accounts. Basically the goal is this is going to be like a 10K series. So the goal is to take a 10K payout with Tradeify, and I think we can do that in about 2 or 3 months. So, you know, looking towards, you know, October or something like that to be able to take a pretty big payout. So that's the plan. Trade them nice and slow, stay disciplined, and get a large payout. And that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, we hit right off that pre-market low there and just bounced back into the range. So it could be another chop day. We don't have, you know, any news. We have no red folder news. Tomorrow we do have the FOMC minutes, which I kind of don't like, but and we do have FOMC members speaking as well. So we will see what tomorrow presents. Hopefully, you know, we can get some type of decent price action here. But again, I don't want to take a trade unless we are going to break to the low side here out of the range and then get a retest to go short. And I don't want to go long unless we absolutely break that previous day high. We just pumped outside of the orb here big time. Just got a 5-minute closure on the outside of the range here, and we did close above this previous day high. So what we're looking for now, this is the 15-minute chart over here. Gonna switch this to the 5, And then we're going to switch this one over here to the 2-minute chart. What we are looking for now is some type of pullback back into my EMAs here on the 2-minute chart, or back into the range, and then we will look for an entry to go to continue to go long here. That's what we're going to wait for now. We do have room here to go to the upside here. As you can see, we got these highs, these overnight highs from Sunday, as well as the previous day highs from Friday, and we have a level right there as well. So we do have a lot of room to get to the upside there. Now just waiting for, like I said, that pullback, and then we will look to enter long here. I do like that we definitely broke above that previous day high, and we are holding above that high. We got that nice little pullback right back to the previous day high. So I'm going to put my order at the top here. I'll just switch to my ninja so you can see. So now we'll wait to see if we get tapped in here. Really liking this setup. This is the strategy, and we are, like I said, above that previous day high. There we go. We are tapped in. So kind of what I'm thinking. So this is the 5-minute chart here, right? So this here. So we can see the 5-minute come all the way down here and like test that 9 as we kind of did last week, and where the 5-minute is basically creating that flag, and then it presses harder. So that's why I don't want to have, you know, previously I was having a 5-point stop. So my stop would have been down here. And what was happening is, like, you know, a lot of times the 5 likes to test that 9 before it continues the move into the direction. So I would have that basically come down, it would stop me out at the edge there, and then go further. So that's what we want to avoid. We want to give this some room to breathe and to work out, you know, towards our favor, and we won't stop out until we realize that the trade is completely invalid. And for it to be like really invalid, you know, we want to see, like I said, 10 points is gonna be my max, but if we start seeing it where it's like crossing the EMAs and closing outside the EMAs and everything, then, you know, that would kind of invalidate the trade at that point, and we would try to get out. Basically building out that flag all the way here. So this is where we'd want to definitely see a bounce off that 9 EMA. And the way that I would be moving my stop, if we can, unless we like just flush all the way down here at this point, right? Which could happen because we are at a rejection point, you know, and that's on me. We want to see it hold this, and then if we pump back up, I would basically move my stop to here, right here. That's where my new stop would be, but we have to like basically form that swing low and then continue higher, and then I can move my stop to there, which would be a lot more comfortable position. But see, if I kept that 5-point stop like I usually do, I would have got stopped right there by a tick, and then maybe it would continue higher, you know what I mean, like last week. So that's why I kind of wanted to widen my stop here and make it a little bit more dynamic, give the trade some room to breathe. So basically our last line of defense here is going to be this 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart. We definitely would want to see it hold basically the range here and hold that 9 EMA to possibly go up. That's basically our last line of defense for this trade. So again, we want to see this 5-minute candle hold here. So if we get the closure of this candle, I'm going to move my stop below this 5-minute right here. I like that push. I like that push. I'm going to go ahead and move my stop up. Let me go ahead and switch to my ninja. I move my stop to the swing low right there, right below it. Okay. So that's more of a dynamic stop. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like about a 6-point stop. So that way we're lowering that risk a little bit, but now our stop makes a lot of sense, right? That's a good part to have it. If we go below that level, you know, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. It's just rejecting off that level up there. Really like where the stop is there. I mean, you know, either this trade works out or it doesn't work out. I'm going to go ahead and get my caffeine, and we will see what happens here. Okay, we got stopped out there. You know, I thought it was a pretty good trade. I really like where I had my stop. The losing streak continues. I promise you we will get out of this. Yeah, that was a rejection point, but you know, as I said, I liked that we got above the previous day high that I had marked out there. You know, we formed that little pullback. We got tapped by a tick, and then it flushed down. So at this point, just getting used to it. You know, it's just my life now. But I'll just show the actual P&L here as well. We will come back from this, you know. So we got the 5 accounts. We went minus 172 there. That's including the commissions there. So not a big loss. You know, we just continue. The price action's pretty shit. You know, it is what it is. I took my setup. It was a good trade in my eyes. I followed all my rules. I liked, you know, where I kept my dynamic stop, and you know, we took a small loss there, starting off with the fresh funded accounts there. So all we can do is just keep going. You know, my system is pretty mechanical at this point in terms of my entries, and I like the feeling of having that dynamic stop and everything. This is part of trading. This is basically 5 losses technically in a row for me, because we had that one break-even trade last week that should have went. But again, last week, those all could have been wins. If I would have, you know, had a little bit of a wider stop and everything, those would have been, you know, wins. So that's how I have to kind of look at it. This was a legit loss. It is what it is. We come back strong tomorrow. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video, and I will see you tomorrow.